All right, we are back on to this job here. We ended up putting a tailings elevator chain in, and now we are working on getting a clean grain elevator chain in. We've got to replace the belt for the tailings drive belt. We're going to replace, and we're going to replace the clean grain elevator drive belt. So we've got to dig into that, get it dug apart here, and we got to work up in the bin for a little while here. Gotta grab that piece of plastic, is it? Okay. All right, we're up in this bin. We're going to take off some sheet metal here so that we can get at the belt pulley and the chain sprockets. All right, we've got the sheet metal removed up in the grain bin, and this belt here drives, this is the longer belt, goes all the way up into the grain bin and back out, and we've got some really awesome spots in it here. There's one right there, another one here, and yeah, this belt here I don't have right now, but this belt has to be removed before we can put the belt on that runs the tailings. So we can get that one on, then we can start working on getting this elevator in there, elevator chain in rather. So okay, ready? Yeah. Go the other way. Alright, let me get on my hands and knees now to roll that chain up. she's pretty well shot. See how this chain is supposed to do that? You know, kind of like fall together like that. I wonder if that big gap is in there, or that's where you take the links out, because you wouldn't have it. It wouldn't be able to be any shorter than that. All right, so we've got this new chain in there. The tailings elevator drive belt is on. We're waiting for this belt here that runs the clean grain elevator assembly. The belt that came off of the tailings had a bunch of cracks in it here. Kind of see them there. This belt actually as this other belt here, but they're getting replaced. So here is the old clean grain elevator chain. Then I don't know why they do this, but this paddle here came off. And then they got this big gap in here, and they have that in there. That's where you're going to take a link out. They should put a paddle in anyhow, and then just make that paddle pin out of, I don't know. But the reason why this paddle came off was because it was carrying 50%, at least 50% more grain than the paddle behind it did, and in front of it, because it had this much of a gap in it. So there would be another paddle right here, almost two more paddles in between. So when I folded the bubble up auger down, this rubber paddle was in the up in the auger area. And then you can kind of see that these are all just right ready to rip out of the, you know, there isn't much to where them bolts are going to pull through the rubber part of the pallet. The chain is mediocre as far as it being sloppy, but it got a new one in there. And the wet corn was probably a contributor to that paddle falling off and just making things run a little harder. There shouldn't be as much grain coming up through there as, you know, it should be able to handle a fair amount of grain. So that's gonna do it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will catch you at the next video. All right, so we've got just a little bit left to finish up on this combine. Got it greased. We've got our elevator chains replaced. Got the clean grain elevator in there. It's properly adjusted, and then we just got done putting on the clean grain elevator drive belt. Whitaker's up in the bin now, putting that cover on there the rest of the way. Now, it's amazing that this belt didn't just blow apart while we were trying to combine here this fall. This belt should have been replaced a long time ago. There's a spot there. There's another bunch of spots all in a row. Here's one there. Another one. There's a couple of them. One there, here. It's probably all spots where the belt got parked when this was put away. So, that belt can go in the garbage. And what we're gonna do now is put a little paint on here, and we are going to work on peeling our decals off, and we'll get them new ones put on. Well, Whitaker's getting these decals heated up and pulled off. And Jared's working on this Jake brake on the 900. We got a rebuild kit here that I picked up at Cat here the other day. Is that enough for all 3 spots?
Yeah.
Or just one head?
All 3.
All 3? Where's your broken one? Was that, or is that up in there still?
That's that right there.
This one?
Yeah.
What's it supposed to look like?
It's supposed to look like that.
So it's got a, okay. So that square lobe came off.
It's missing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he'll get that together and maybe we'll hear it chirp today. So this combine is just about ready to go. However, this decal job has not turned out to be too fun of an experience. This glue will not come off of the panel. Lukens has got this panel done right down to that seam, and then he's got to remove the rest of the glue on this back panel. He's using a couple of different chemicals, using a heat gun and a little tool with a like an eraser wheel on it. But yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I thought it was going to be an easy job. No. Another project that we have going on is we're putting together a trash pump so that we can pump some water out of a couple of different ponds. So we've got to put some hose fittings together here and get after it. Alright, so this here is a Harbor Freight Special. It's a 3-inch. All of our other pumps are 2-inch, and we wanted something that would pump a little more liquid. We've got some water over in the lagoon or Jared's that we might want to bring back here so that we can agitate the manure that's left in these pits around here. So we'll have to get this out of the box and get it put together. Buy a strainer. One right here. Alright, we'll get some thread sealing on there. Get some fittings put onto it. And I imagine that, yeah, we have to add engine oil to it. And obviously some gas. All right, we've got our pump set up. Got our hoses put together. These hoses are both 100 feet long. And now what I'm doing is I'm gluing some fittings together for a pipe to hang over the wall of the bunk and or the frac tank. So I've got a piece of 3-inch PVC over in the vise I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna make one about 10 inches long and then maybe one, I don't know, 8 or 12. So we'll get that cut and get it glued together here. In case you are wondering what the pressure washer was washing, Numbnuts is washing the silage trucks off here today. I've gotten comments in the last videos saying that we should gravel our driveway. I don't know what you're talking about. This is gravel here. If it wasn't gravel, you wouldn't be able to even drive in here. With how wet it's been this year. And also had comments about how we should cement this whole area. Well, you're probably right, but there is pavement here, so it just looks kind of nasty during different times of videoing is all. But there's a lot of stone in this driveway, believe me. That should work.
That'll work.
Well, this is about gonna do it for this video. We've got our pieces made up, and we'll use this stuff another day. But here's what the combine looks like with the decals removed. Got to remove the John Deere decal on the back here, and we've got to go down through the rest of this side. So that's where we're going to sign off with this video. Did you get that truck washed?
Oh yeah, I just got one side left.
What stuff works better?
I think the green one.
Simple green works better, you think? No shit.
I think so.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this video, right?
Yeah.
You got any words of wisdom for this video?
No.
No? Okay. All right.